I'm Prison Mike. You know why they call me Prison Mike?
Hillary Clinton is working to try and take away your Oreo cookie. Wake up, America!
I'm never gonna financially recover from this.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Joke Story Trick Live with Michael Kent. I'm him. Let's go. Hey, it's Tuesday night. What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in yet again. We are live on Facebook and Twitch this week. Anyone who's been following my Facebook or Twitter or anything knows the drama that I went through today. YouTube, we're gone this week, but we'll come back soon. We'll figure out what's going on there. Some sort of weird, goofy thing is happening on YouTube, and let me see who's here. I'm gonna just look at the chat real quick. We've got Christopher Morrow. Hey, Chris.
Ah, Chris.
And I hope all the jokes are about how much YouTube sucks, says Erik Dittelman. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you liked the sign. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's kind of looks nice. I'm sitting in front of it most of the time, but just trying to spice up the studio. I'm really happy to be here. I've been looking forward to actually doing the show all day, because all day has consisted of basically rebuilding a YouTube just for the meantime. So next week we'll start again for the Patreon supporters. They get to enjoy the pre-show party before the show, and we'll be back doing that next week. I promise. One way or another, we'll make it work. And hopefully, eventually, we'll get all of the YouTube back. We'll get all of that back together. You guys, tonight on the show, I have Erik Tait. Erik is a good friend of mine and a close-up champion, an international close-up champion. And he and I have even done a show together. We did a wizard battle last year. It was a ton of fun. I won, but that's only because I cheated. So, we're going to just get started with the show tonight. I want to get right into it, and I just want to say to you, it is time for the stupid news. All right, in the stupid news tonight, oh, this is good. In Australia, emus have been banned for bad behavior from a hotel in Australia. Very strange story indeed. Also, strangely enough, the hotel still allows kangaroos, wallabies, and Russell Crowe. Okay, next up we have, the British government. This is weird. This is super weird. The British government is investing in a sex party startup. The British government investing in a sex party startup. So this makes official a long-standing government policy of screwing citizens. Let's see. Next up, we have, listen, these Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell locations will give you your free food. It'll give you free food if you bring in extra rolled coins. So for the first time, creepy guys at fast food counters will be able to answer, yes, that is a roll of quarters in my pocket. That one was stupid. And then finally, in the stupid news, let's look at this. This woman is a Florida TV reporter, and she credits her viewer with noticing a cancerous lump on her neck. One of the viewers wrote in and said, listen, you might want to have that looked at. That looks cancerous. And because we're in America, the viewer then charged the reporter a $200 copay. This has been your stupid news. Oh, man. Thank you to those of you who've been helping with the stupid news. We got Taylor Hurt from Twitch, and Taylor asks, was Erik also on Penn and Teller? Yes, he was, and we're going to talk about that later on. Thank you for watching from Twitch. It is one of 2 streaming platforms we're streaming on tonight, and I'm happy to have some folks there watching. It's hard to get people to watch you on Twitch, so it's cool to have that going on. Tell me in the chat, other than your streaming platform, where in the world are you? Where are people watching from? I know that we've got folks from LA. Christopher Morrow's there. We've got Taylor Hurt here, I believe in Ohio. No, maybe not. I don't know. So, and we've got Erik Dittelman. He's in New York. Happy to have everyone here. I'm able to see who all is watching, and we've got quite a bit. I got to tell you, man, before we went on, I was chatting with Erik Tait, and I told him I'm just like frazzled today. Troy, Ohio. Okay, cool. Los Angeles, very good.
Ah, Chris.
And so if you're a regular viewer, you get your own audio drop on the show. That's how it works. That is how it works. So here's the thing. If you are interested in following me on YouTube, I got to build back 4,000 subscribers that I lost today. So I do have a second YouTube that may end up being my official YouTube. So if you don't mind, all my social media has plugged it today. Go over there, give me a follow. I do appreciate it. I think we're up to like 65 people. So I'm like 1/65th of the way there, which is not bad for one day. And we do have content up there. I've got past joke, story, trick shows you can watch, along with some live videos and television appearances. So those are all ready to go. We've caught up from the week. We've done the news. It's time for something new now. You guys. ADP programmers watching from Cincy, Ohio. Thanks for watching on Twitch. We have a brand new segment in the show this week. It's this thing. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. This is just like a totally, hey, Darren Wolford in Aruba. Wow. This is just a totally normal coin purse made out of leather like you would find. Watch inside the coin purse. I give it a snap and something appears inside. This tells us what we're going to be doing, the appearing knot. And that brings us to our brand new segment of the show, Teach Me How to Magic.
Teach me how to
Magic.
Teach me how to
Magic.
Teach me how to
Magic.
You ain't messing with my
Magic.
That's right. We're avoiding all sorts of copyright laws there. This is the appearing knot. All you need to do this is a handkerchief. So you go around your home. You don't have to have it with you because you're going to remember how this works. Here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to perform it for you, and then I'll teach you how it works. And every week from now on, I'm going to teach you how to magic. So you get a handkerchief. This is one like you would find at grandma's house, and you hold it here with your palm, and you hold it here with your fingers. And on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, a knot forms right at the... Okay, hang on. I'll do it again. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, a knot... Last time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, a knot appears. A knot appears in the handkerchief, tied there as if by magic. I am going to teach you how to magic. Okay. That was me rewinding. This is there the entire time. You're going to tie that knot ahead of time, and you're going to put it secretly in your hand, in your palm, just like this. They don't see it, and you can display the handkerchief as if it didn't have a knot, okay? You just pull it out of your pocket that way. That stays in your hand. Now this end is going to bend up. You fold it up, and you hold it between these 2 fingers. And don't do it, just do it right away, right? So you hold it here, and the first time you just drop it right from your fingers. Boom. And that sets up the pattern of what they're looking for. That sets up this false pattern that you're going to be dropping the handkerchief from your fingers. That's the first time. That's the second time. On the third time, you know what you're going to do. You're going to hold it here, and you're going to let go of these fingers. That means you let go. Boom. And they're looking down here. That gives you time to transfer this back into your hand. And you have now learned how to magic. Bonus, if you've got a rope, look at this. You can do it with a rope too. Same trick, different material. You guys think about what you can do it with. Maybe you can do it with like, I don't know, your charging cable or whatever. So that's been Teach Me How to Magic.
Teach me how to
Magic.
Teach me how to
Magic.
Teach me how to
Magic.
You ain't messing with my
Magic.
Okay. That's my favorite part of this whole thing is the new song. I love it. Sean Brown says, nice, rewind.
Sean is going to shoot you in the back of the head.
Sorry, Sean, I need to get you a better sound clip. That sound bite is just violent. And not only because it's Alex Jones. We're going to keep on moving along. It's time for jokes. So let's do some jokes. Karen goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, hey, where have you been, Karen? It's good to see you. She said, well, doctor, I've not been feeling well lately. The doc says, well, I've looked at your lab reports, and I'm afraid I have some bad news. Karen interrupts the doctor because she's Karen. She says, doctor, don't give me this labs nonsense. You bureaucratic paper pusher. I don't believe Western medicine anyway. I've been following homeopathic medicine, faith-based approaches, and healing crystals all my life, and they never let me down. Now, will you do things my way, or do I need to talk to the hospital management? The doctor takes a step back. He says, sure, lady. We'll do things your way. Does an astrology-based approach work for you? Karen smiles, folds her arms, and says, that's better. Of course it would. The doctor asks her astrological birth sign, and Karen answers, Cancer. The doctor says, what a fucking coincidence. All right, there's your joke of the week. This one is from Eric G. Rex. Boso. Eric says, my thoughts on the windmill? Huge fan.
It was pretty gold darn hilarious.
That's not bad, Eric. That's good. Andrew Wright says, what do you call a cow who just gave birth? Decaffeinated. No.
Fool this man!
Okay. Cody Jared Bird says, did you hear about the guy who farted in church? Sat in his own pew. That one, Cody wrote like 5 fire emojis after it, which were not called for. My favorite one of the Mitch says, oof.
Money making Mitch.
All right, good to see you, Mitch.
Andrew.
Okay, Tammy Walkup says, a woman is on trial for beating her husband to death with his guitar collection. The judge says, first offender? She says, no, first a Gibson, then a Fender.
That's funny.
And those were your jokes. Thanks, you guys. Mitch just says, oof. I like oof is the best reaction to a bad joke, like the kind that happened in Joke Story Trick. So we appreciate the oof greatly. Man, Christopher Morrow, Darren Wolford is in Aruba. What are you doing in Aruba, Darren? Darren and I went to college and hung out a bit together, and he came in last week, so it's good to see you again, my friend. We've done all the jokes, the guest jokes, and that means it's time for the newer segment, which is the Wheel of Jokes. Let's bring up the wheel, and we're going to use Darren because he's here and he's in Aruba. Darren, I want you to just tell me in the chat, and I'll read it. Tell me, well, let's get you. I'm forgetting the rules of my own game here. All of these things on the wheel right here are all books that I have back here in the cabinet. They're all joke books, different horrible joke books. They're corny joke books. We're going to spin the wheel. We're going to see which joke we're going to land on. Milton Berle. Okay, that's a big one. Let's find that one. Milton Berle's joke, private joke file. This could be sketch. We don't know what we're going to have. There are 619 pages in this book. Darren Wolford, I'd like you to tell me any number between 1 and 619. Type it in the chat. We'll see what you get. Yeah, there are, this is arranged by category. That's the way these old joke books usually work. And the idea is that, like, you have a joke memorized for any situation. And, you know, you go to dinner with the wife and you're trying to impress your boss and you have this giant book hidden under the chair. And then he brings up, you know, taxes. And then you go to taxes and you find, you know, a joke that has to do with taxes. Darren Wolford says, big ass book. That's right, it is. I need a number from you, sir, between 1 and 619. He says 569. Okay, let's find page 569. And the subject, 569, will be trust. Well, we have trust or we have twins. Let's do trust. Here we go. A young man asked his girlfriend's father if it would be okay if the engagement was announced. The father was very pleased and said, "Remember one thing, my boy, I'm entrusting you with the treasure of my life." After the men had toasted the engagement, the young man decided to go home. As he opened the door, rain poured down. The young man asked if he could borrow an umbrella, and the father of the bride-to-be said, "Sorry, I don't trust anybody with my umbrella." It's not good.
Boom. Roasted.
It's really, really not good. Let's put this back. Okay. But that's why it's the Wheel of Jokes. Sometimes it's going to be a good one, sometimes it's not. We never know what we're going to get with the Wheel of Jokes. Let's move on, my friends. It's time for a story. All right, this one's kind of neat. I was in the newspaper when I was very young. I was 5 years old. And I was 5 years old. Darren Wolford said, wrong page. And I got this picture in the newspaper. I'm going to show it to you. That's me. It says music time. It says Michael Kent plays the spoons and teacher Nancy Sleeper a mountain dulcimer in Francis Matson's kindergarten class at Urbana East Elementary Monday afternoon. Kent recently learned how to play the spoons while in Tennessee. This is crazy to have. I was 5 years old here. 5 years old, and the crazy part is, like, I know all these kids. I look at the back of the heads of all these 5-year-olds, and these are people that I grew up with and that I know now as adults, most of them. And I can tell you who most of these people are just by looking at their back of their 5-year-old heads. If you're not familiar, playing the spoons is an instrument that goes with a lot of country music. Not country music, I would say old-time music. Whether it be folk music or old-time music. They also call it playing the bones when they have little wooden sticks that they in their hands. And it's the same type of thing. And it's the weirdest thing for a 5-year-old to learn. But the story behind it is kind of cool. We were on our way, my family and I were on our way down to Florida for a Disney vacation. And on that vacation, we stopped at Chattanooga, Tennessee. It was like a nice stopping point for us for the night. And in Chattanooga, Tennessee, there's a hotel called Chattanooga Choo Choo. It's a train-themed hotel built in an old train station. And I loved trains as a kid, still do. And there was a trolley that you could ride at the Chattanooga hotel. So we rode the trolley, and the man who was leading the trolley, or driving the trolley or whatever, the engineer, played the spoons. And he taught me how to do it. At least, as much as you can teach a 5-year-old. And I had rhythm, that was my thing growing up, was playing the drums and stuff. So I just took to it. I started playing the spoons everywhere. That was my thing. And then the speech and hearing teacher found out that I had learned how to play the spoons, and she played the dulcimer in this mountain band. So she said, "Hey, do you want to come and let's do a song together at school?" And then we even did a song together downtown Urbana, where I grew up, Urbana, Ohio. We did several songs, and she had me, my parents brought me downtown. I sat on a bale of hay, and I played the spoons with her mountain band. It's pretty cool. About 2 weeks ago, I got a message on Facebook. The message said this: "Hi, I used to teach at East. Is this little boy you? We were on the front of the newspaper too when you were in Mrs. Matson's class. Several years ago, my friend mentioned your name when talking about one of her daughters, and I thought your name sounded familiar." And she attached 2 pictures to that message, and I had never seen these. And here I am, 41 years old. These are me at 5 years old in downtown Urbana playing the spoons with all these strangers and this teacher. It was quite something to see that. I remember it. I really remember it. I remember the sitting there and playing with that band. And here's the really interesting part. That trip to Chattanooga, Tennessee, we ended up at Disney World. And at Disney World, on Main Street, they used to have a magic shop, and that was my first time being exposed to magic. And that is what sowed the seed to me doing what I do for a living now. And I just like to think, if we hadn't gone to Disney World and we would have just gone home after Tennessee, my life would have been completely different. And there's a chance that this show would be called Joke Story Spoons. And that's my story for today. We do have a guest on the show tonight. I'm excited to talk about the guest. Let me bring him up here. Let's find. Look at this. This is Penn and Teller Fool Us, but that's not my clip. This is from our guest tonight, Erik Tait. Now, Erik is a comedian and a magician. He's formerly studied comedy, like in college, like actually studied it for reals. He also studied at the Second City, which I believe I did as well. I don't know if we did the same thing. We're going to have to talk about that. Also, Erik and I did a show last year called Wizard Battle. It's kind of cool. We set up to the audience this idea that we were going to compete using just our magic. And what the audience didn't know was that we competed using nothing but a children's magic set. And so we both had to perform things from the children's magic set. It was the most fun ever. It was such a great time. Now he works for Penguin Magic, which is the world's largest magic retailer. It's really a great thing and a great friend to know. He taught me how to do the push-through shuffle. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my good friend, Erik Tait. What's up, Erik?
Hello. How are you, Mr. Kent?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm spectacular, but I'll get better.
Oh, you're probably having a better day than I am. I've had a crazy day.
Yeah, everything is weird and awful and everything is on fire, but we're here now, so that works out.
Yeah. Have you been doing any virtual magic shows?
No, I think that there's a lot of people doing a lot of really great virtual magic shows, and I am gainfully employed at Penguin Magic, so I'm like, I'm gonna let other people go have fun in that arena. I think that because even with virtual magic shows, like the work is few and far between. So I'll let the people who like you, their entire livelihood relies on performing. I've been doing a lot of virtual comedy shows that people book me on. I've done 2 virtual magic shows. One was with it was a Kid Again virtual
with John
magic
Petz.
show that everyone was on.
Sure.
And it was like, that was a really great cause, and the host of that is a good friend of mine, and I've done a bunch of shows for him, so it was not a problem. The other one I did was BarkBox is a client of mine. They've been a client of mine for a long time. My dog is an influencer for them. They asked me to do a virtual magic show with the caveat that my dog be on screen the entire time. So it was less of a magic show and more of a me trying to practice magic while my dog walked all over my table.
I feel like a lot of people right now, before we move on with this, are asking the question, how does a dog, how does my pet become an influencer?
You just have to. So it turns out being a dog is a lot more fun on Instagram than being a person. So we just take pictures of Rocco doing weird things. His Instagram, if you want to follow him, is @GoodBoyRocco.
Okay.
That's BOI.
Of course it is.
It's he's a Chiweenie, which they call a German taco. So his name is Rocco the German Taco.
I love it.
And a lot of magicians assume that I named him after Rocco Solano, the guy who sleeves it. And he is small enough to fit in a sleeve, but that's not what happened. We just wanted to name a very small dog after a very butch gangster sounding name. So
I love it, man. I love it.
Yes, Eric Dittelman, I'm hacking this show too.
Eric
I was invited on this show.
Yeah, this show he was invited, not so much the one that you all were on a few weeks ago. That's great, man. I have a good Rocco Solano story that I'll tell you one day. It involves him standing up in front of my stage through my entire performance.
That sounds like him.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. Maybe it'll make it onto this show one day.
Yeah.
So that's cool, man. Now you were on Fool Us as well. You were on season 4, season 5.
Season 5.
Season
think
5.
It was. Yeah. And I was like, they're definitely gonna cancel this show. They're letting me on. So.
Oh no, dude! It's. I feel like it's getting better. I haven't watched any of this season. But I watched some of the clips from last season, and it was so good. How was your experience on the show?
I had a great time. The show was really incredible. I think the way it was put to me about the show was that there's a limited number of magicians who are good enough to be on the show. There's an even smaller number of magicians who have material that is good for selling deodorant to fans of Riverdale. And so what
it
they
airs on the CW.
Yeah, exactly. So what they need to do is, for the people who do fit in that small pool, they need to treat them really well, because the last thing that they want is any of those people running around to the magic community, which is a very tiny community, going, "Oh, those jerks, they treated me like garbage. I never want to go do that again," because then they'd never be able to get anyone on the show.
Yeah.
And that was really what I experienced, was that they just they moved the earth for me to get. I mean, so the table that you and I did the roast battle on, and the table that I do my formal close-up show on, is the same table that was on Fool Us. They flew my table out there because so when in the early thing, they were like, "Well, here's the furniture that you have," and I really wanted to use that blackjack table because that just looks so cool.
Yeah.
But the some of the method behind what my trick is, there are some critical height dimensions that I have to fill, and if I can't fill those, then it becomes either the trick doesn't look good or whatever. And so they were like, "Well, just bring your table. We'll pay to fly it out here and fly it back.
That's
and
amazing.
If it doesn't work, the worst case scenario is that you have a practice table in your hotel room." So it was just, I was like, wow, they're really serious about this. They want to make this trick look really good.
They do. Yeah.
And I got to work with Johnny Thompson, which was a huge, there's a particular move in that. So I know that the audience is a mix of magicians and lay people, but there's a particular move in that routine that is super tough, and it damages the card if you do it wrong. And myself and Michael Close and Brent Braun and Nick Lacapo and a bunch of other magicians had worked on this for months, trying to eliminate this thing. And Johnny walked up during the first rehearsal and was like, "How about you do this way?" And it was like, shit, we all missed it. This was Johnny.
There's a reason he's Johnny Thompson.
Johnny Thompson, Johnny fixed it, and suddenly the routine was complete. So it was, and it was this. The other thing was doing that show gave me the confidence to go compete at the IBM. So it's sort of I sort of got exposed to the magic community bam, 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 because Penguin filmed a lecture with me because they knew that I filmed for Fool Us. They were one of the people that I was like, "Hey, I filmed for Fool Us. Also, here's some things." And they were like, "Oh yeah, well, we definitely want you to do a lecture now." And so my Penguin Live lecture dropped literally the same weekend that I won the IBM close-up.
And then it wasn't long after that you did Ultra Lucky Coin.
Yeah, well, and then 3 weeks after that, my Fool Us episode aired, and then about 2 months after that, Ultra Lucky Coin made its debut. So
That's
I
awesome.
sort of got shoved into the magic community's face really hard.
It's great.
But because we filmed in March and the filming went really well, and the routine had grown so much, that's what gave me the confidence to go compete at the IBM. So that show really opened a lot of doors for me, and as a result too, now I'm going to go compete at FISM when
with that same routine.
It's a different. The competition version is different than what you see on TV, because in competition, it's got to be longer. It's got to there's a lot of boxes it's got to tick, and so there's some stuff that we decided to cut out of the television for a wide variety of reasons, where it's no one cares about this on television. So that show really launched me into a lot of things.
What's really interesting is you took a really difficult routine to the show.
Yeah.
You decided to do something that not many people can do. You have to have studied with a particular person who we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
You have to have studied that person's material thoroughly to do what it is that you did, and most of us can't do that. I did one of the easiest things in my show on the show. The producers asked me to perform this bit, but I was happy to do it, because when I got down there to film Fool Us, there were all of guys like you freaking out rehearsing for 3 days before the filming. Everyone was like, "Oh, I can't hang out. I can't go to the bar. I'm going to be up in my room. There's a couple finishing touches I'm trying to put on this thing. I'm trying to work out some angles." And I could do this routine in my sleep because I've done it more than anything else in the show. It's not going to fool them. and I knew that going into it. But
oh no, I didn't practice at all. I just got shit faced in the bar every night because the Rio bar is amazing. So, of course, yeah, no, I was holding. No, actually, that's interesting. I know a lot of people who all they did was practice when they were there, and I made two very conscious decisions on the practice. One was that I only practiced in the morning because I got wind early on that my filming was going to be in the morning.
Oh wow!
And so when you do sort of like hardcore slight intensive, and particularly like finicky slight intensive routines like that, something I actually learned from Rick Merrill is that you should only practice when you are also going to do the competition, like the same time frame, because like my fingertip moistness actually is dramatically affects that routine.
Would you mind saying that again closer to the microphone?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Fingertip moistness.
Fingertip moistness.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah, so it's dramatic. It's really important in that routine, especially for some of the moves later in the routine are super difficult, and so the moisture content of my skin changes throughout the day, and so the practicing regime is very different.
Dude, that's a part of magic that no one would ever think about.
So I only practiced in the morning when I was going to film, and then in the afternoons, my partner and I would like go to magic shows. Like we saw Matt King, and we went to go see David Copperfield, and we just like went and enjoyed food. So I like took the evenings like more easy because it was pointless for me to practice because it would have been very different from what I was going to experience in the show.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Well, we could sit and talk about Fool Us forever, but I want to get on to your story. Now, we bring everyone on the show to tell a story. Yeah. You have a specific story to tell, and I'm just going to full screen you and let you take it away. Go for it, man.
Yeah, sure. So when Michael asked me to be on the show, I said, and Michael, you can feel free to jump in if you have questions about this story. I was going to tell a story about how I'd accidentally walked into a strip club in Atlanta. But you can listen to that on my album, Nerd is the New Black, available on iTunes. Shameless plug. So I thought instead I would tell a story about going to Spain. I went to Spain a few years ago with sort of the intention was to vacation and to drink wine, but also to hunt down Spanish card magicians because the card magicians in Spain are insane. They're so good. And so I knew I was going to be in Madrid on a specific series of dates. And I emailed Rafael Benatar, who I have met on a number of occasions when I lived in Los Angeles, and we're friendly enough that he was that I felt comfortable reaching out to him. And I said, "Hey, I'm going to be in Madrid on these dates. Is there anywhere I should go? Maybe I can pick up some shows or lectures, or are there magic club meetings?" And he said, "Oh, well, I happen to know that the Magic Circle in Madrid is going to be meeting on this night," because I was only in Madrid for like 3-4 days. He says, "You should come to the Magic Circle because everyone's going to be hanging out there. I'll introduce you to a bunch of people. It'll be a fantastic time." And I was like, awesome, this will be great. So I spent some time in Portugal, met some really great magicians in Portugal, then moved my way through Spain via train because Erik loved train. And then we got to Madrid. And so the day of the Magic Circle meeting was upon me, and my partner and her family was traveling with us, and they went off to go just enjoy museums and architecture and Spanish food and just the culture. And Madrid is just an amazing thing. And so the Magic Circle was supposed to open at 5. The meeting was going to start at 6, and my plan was, I will use Google Maps to get a map to the Magic Circle and from the Magic Circle. And because I didn't have Google Fi at the time, I was on Verizon and I didn't pay for the international stuff. So I used all the Wi-Fi and screenshotted all the maps and got the offline map. And I had it all figured out. And I was like, I know what I'll do. I'll take the public transit down to where the Magic Circle is. And then I'll find a bar and I'll have a glass of wine and maybe some tapas and just sort of enjoy myself relaxing. And then when the Magic Circle opens, I'll hang out at the Magic Circle all evening. And then I'll go back to my family and I'll tell them about all the wonderful things that I saw and met and learned. It'll be a great time. And what I didn't count on was siesta, which is this amazing concept where from 3 to 5 o'clock, the entire country of Spain just shuts down.
So I always just assumed that was not real.
No,
I always just assumed like they say, yeah, it's siesta, kind of like tea time, like in like it's like, oh well, it's tea. Like but then the serious companies work through it.
Yeah, no, the siesta is 100% real. And what it is everybody shuts down at 3:00. The only thing that still runs is like a couple of cabs, emergency services, and public transit. So I didn't know. So siesta as a concept sounds amazing, but siesta as a tourist is the most fucking annoying thing in the world. Because you're just like, you want to go do stuff. And you're like, hey, it's the afternoon. We're going to go get a drink. And then the bars are like, no, you can't do that. And when I say everything shuts down, I mean everything shuts down. Restaurants, stores, gas stations.
And how long is it for?
And here's the other thing that's really annoying about siesta is all of the companies and all of the stores and businesses open back up at different times, right? So some of them will come back up at 4, others at 4:30, some at 5. Others just decide, you know what? No, I'm done for the day. And they just like don't open again. And it's like there's no rhyme or reason for why anything happens. I'm sure if I was from Spain, I would know exactly what was going on. But as a dumb American tourist, I was like, I don't know anything. So I get down to the Magic Circle and nothing is open. I'm walking like, I'm like over here. There's a bar. Nope, it's closed. Okay, well, there's a restaurant. Nope, that's closed. Okay, I've been out standing around for an hour. I'm getting kind of thirsty. I need to go to like a corner store, a convenience store, and get a bottle of water. Nope, nothing. Nothing is open. So I end up just like standing kind of outside where I think the Magic Circle is, because this is an area of Madrid where addresses are more of a theory than a fact.
Okay.
So I get down to like where I'm pretty, and there's no. When you go to the Magic Circle in Madrid, which is an amazing place, by the way, there's no great big sign outside that says, this is the Magic Circle. This is where Juan Tamariz figured out mnemonic or anything like that. You get there, and there's just like 11 different garage door roll downs that are like pulled down, locked into the ground. And then there's some like apartment looking stuff up here, but you just like, there's nothing. And so I'm there at, I get there at like 3:30. Everything's closed, and I'm just like hanging out. Like, I think this is the Magic Circle, which is, for those of you who are not magicians, is like a really important magic club over in Europe, and there's different branches. So I'm like, okay, I think this is the Magic Circle. I'm just gonna wait around because it opens at 5. I know it opens at 5, so I'm gonna check it out, and then I'm waiting, and then and I'm across the street from it. And I'm waiting in the shade of a tree, and then this really rough-looking biker dude shows up. And he is like hanging around where I'm pretty sure the Magic Circle is. Now, when I say pretty rough looking, I mean, dude's got face tattoos, piercings. He's got a leather jacket, a bandana. He looks like a motorcycle gang aficionado. Like he just like, he's just like, there's patches, but my Spanish is, I speak bank Spanish, so I'm good with numbers, but nothing else. So I have no idea what these patches are. He looks like really terrible. And he's kind of like moody looking and hanging out. And he sort of looks at me a couple of times, but doesn't say anything. So I'm like, what is going, like, is this dude, like, here's the thing. Magicians are a very eclectic bunch. So he might be a magician.
You don't know.
But he also might be casing the joint to murder everyone. and I don't like, and I want to ask him, like, are you a magician, or like, do you work for the Madrid's chapter of the Hells Angels? But that's not a question that I want to get wrong.
And people might be surprised to know we don't have any sort of secret notification sign, or we don't have like a magic gang sign that we can flash to each other. We should, but we don't.
Yeah, and so I'm just like hanging out. So I'm like getting more and more nervous because the guy because I'm not standing in front of the Magic Circle. I'm across the street with a yellow messenger bag on, looking like an idiot. Like sort of looking at him out of the corner of my eye, but not like really looking at him. And so I can tell this guy is like not like into me. And then 5 o'clock hits, the door rolls up. It turns out it's the Magic Circle. There's a woman behind the counter. They go in, he hugs her and kisses her, and everything is great. So I walk in, and it's an amazing place, right? Because on the outside, it's very unassuming.
I was gonna say, is it ornate once you get in?
Oh, so once you get, it's very modern looking. So like once you get in, there's a small pedestal with a deck of cards laid out in mnemonic order with Juan Tamariz's picture over it. And you sort of like get the idea that like this was the original mnemonica deck. There's a FISM Grand Prix trophy in a glass case. There's pictures and plaques and memorabilia in glass cases all over the walls. It looks really great. It's kind of like the P3 Magic Theater, where like from the outside you're like, that place looks kind of run down, and then you go inside and it's amazing.
Right.
So I go in, and then a bunch of other people are in there, or they start coming in and they take me in and they start like showing me tricks and asking to see my stuff, and everything is really going great. And then Rafael Benatar shows up, and he goes, "Oh, Erik," in his like really rich musical baritone. And he goes, "Oh, Erik, I forgot. There is a lecture tonight. He is from Argentina, and it is in Spanish. Do you speak Spanish?" And I said, "No." "Well, no, I speak bank Spanish. Is this going to be an add a number lecture?" And he goes, "Oh no. Well, you will know what you come join us." And I was like, "Okay." So I go sit in the back, and then it is the lecture is from a gentleman in Argentina, and I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was Manuel Yasser, but I could very well be wrong.
Not the face tattoo guy.
No, it's not the face tattoo guy.
Okay.
Who is still there and is still sort of looking out at me out of the corner of my eye, or corner of his eye. But the guy proceeds to give one of the most intense and specific technical lectures on mnemonica in Spanish that I've ever heard. And I kind of knew what was going on, but let me tell you,
how did you?
If you don't speak Spanish and you hear a technical description of memory work, it's gripping. So I'll tell you about what the actual contents of the lecture was later, because it was very cool. But it was fine, right? So I understood about every third word, and I kind of got the gist of it, but basically I had no idea what was going on. So the lecture ends. There's the usual rush of magicians to buy the dude's merch, and I sort of go out into the lobby area ready to session some more. And then Rafael walks up to me and goes, "Oh, Erik, I forgot to tell you. After a lecture, we all go out to dinner. Please join us." And I said, "You know what? Great. I would love to. You know what? Could you do me a favor, Rafael, and tell me the address of the restaurant that we're going to? Because I need to put it in my phone because I have to get the directions here on Wi-Fi. I don't have cell signal. And then after that, I need to get back to my Airbnb." And he goes, "Don't worry, Erik. We all walk together." And I was like, "Yeah, that's great. I'm fine getting to the restaurant with you guys, but it's getting from the restaurant to my house that's going to be the question. So if you could just tell me like the address so I could get that all figured out here." It was, "Erik, we all walk together." I said, "Yes, okay, that's fine. I'm fine walking with you. But Erik, we all walk together, but not me because my leg hurts. So I will see you at the restaurant." And then he just disappears, just gone, just poof. He's just, so I'm like, okay, I don't know where to go now. And then the biker dude walks up and says, "You with me now." And then he just charges off into the darkness. And I was like, "Huh?" And I said, "What?" And he goes, "Rafael says you come with me." And then he just walks into the darkness. So I follow him because a biker dude has just said, like, "You're coming with me. Rafael Benatar said so." And I'm like, okay, this is fine. And then, so we start walking off into the darkness. And then he looks at me and in rough broken English, which I'm not going to try and duplicate because that would be terribly insensitive. But his English wasn't great, but he did know some English. And he asked me what I thought of the lecture. And I said, "Oh, it was interesting. My Spanish isn't great, but I understood sort of what he was getting at. And I thought it was neat. I really look forward to it." And he goes, "No, it was shit." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Why?" And then he started to tell me in broken English that then gradually became very aggressive Spanish. And he was very specific about why he did not like it and how it was awful and terrible and the worst lecture they could have possibly seen. And it's at this point that I also realize that there's really no more streetlights, that we are walking through an area of Madrid that has also got like a lot of graffiti, and it looks a lot like the neighborhood that I currently live in. It looks a little on the rough side. And I'm just like, what the fuck have I gotten into? Because my phone doesn't work. I'm walking with a man who does not like my opinion of the lecture that we just saw, and he's getting more and more irate. And then he suddenly stops, and we're in front of this wooden door, and it's a wooden door with an arch at the top, and then there's like iron bars, like 3 or 4 bars this way, and then 3 or 4 bars this way, and it looks like they're like hammered in. It looks very old, like it's been there for a long time. And he raps on the door real fast, and then a hatch opens behind the doors, and a face gets shoved in, sort of like the gate at the Emerald City in Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And then they have a very short, very terse argument in Spanish. The door, the window snaps shut, the little hatch snaps shut, the door gets jerked open, and then the waiter, or this guy who looks like a waiter, goes like this, And then, so we go in and the lights are off. This restaurant is closed. The chairs are turned upside down on tables. And there's two other waiters who are sitting in a corner smoking, not looking very happy. And he takes us into a room and he sort of gestures at the table, and then the waiter walks away. So it's me and the biker dude. And the biker dude takes one chair and sets it down very heavily, and then takes the other one, he sets it down very heavily, and he motions at the chair for me. So I sit in it, and then he sits at the other one. And it's, again, the lights are off in this restaurant, and he sits down like this. And then we sit in silence. He just is not talking to me. And so I'm just like, I don't, what? And there's no one there, right? There's the waiters in the other room smoking. The lights are off in this restaurant, and we sit in silence. And about 5 minutes pass, and no one comes. About 10 minutes pass. And then I'm also noticing that, like, there are windows to the outside, but there are bars, like, on the windows. So it's not like, I mean, this place is like a fortress. Like, you can't get, like, getting in or getting out is a problem unless you work for Mallory Archer. But so it's about like 15 minutes passes, and I'm like, I need to get out of here because this is maybe a little dangerous. So I sort of like kind of look at my phone. I'm like, oh, and I start to make this, like, I'm like, hey, you know, I gotta get back to my family, but thanks. And all of a sudden, the lights turn on. 20 other magicians walk in. Rafael Benatar at the lead. They all sit down, start ordering food. It comes, and not one of those motherfuckers mentioned that we were sitting alone, silent in the dark. Never came up again. And I have no idea if Rafael Benatar did this to me on purpose or not.
That has to be on purpose, right?
It has to be.
So we need to find an answer to this from Rafael Benatar. Can you contact him? Do you have his information?
I haven't talked to him in a long time. And
it's almost like, better not knowing.
I'm not sure if I ever want to know the answer.
Yeah,
but
we do
it was very generous of Rafael to invite me to the Magic Circle, which was super duper cool. And
that's amazing.
All of the people I met were really wonderful, and they shared some amazing magic with me that I will never forget. And then we had a really lovely dinner because the food was just amazing. Like, you should go to Spain for the food. It's fantastic.
So we have a chat that Taylor says beautiful Archer line. He just wanted to Taylor wanted to give you props for
Are we not
Archer
doing
reference.
phrasing anymore, Taylor? Are we not doing phrasing? How did phrasing get out of the mix?
Christopher Morrow says who's going to ask Raphael? Someone has to. Someone has to. Man, that's a great story. That's really, really awesome.
Really
Thanks for sharing it. So in addition to telling your story, you do tricks. That's what you do. You're really, really good at it. So would you do a trick for us on the show here?
Sure, I can do that. Do you have a deck of cards?
Yes.
Cool. So here's what we're gonna do. First of all, I want you to pick a suit, because I'm gonna do. This is actually for the magicians watching this. This is a new version of my effect suit cut to order that I've never performed before.
That's fun because I bought it and never watched it.
Perfect.
So
do me a favor. Take a suit out of the deck. And
okay.
Are you familiar with what a suit cut is?
Explain it just in case.
Okay. So while I'm explaining it, so I want you to pick any suit. It doesn't matter which one, and then take that suit out of the deck, and then arrange it in ace to king order. So ace at the front, king at the face.
Okay.
So what a suit cut is actually one of my heroes, Leonard Green, is one of the first people I ever saw do this. Is that the audience will pick a suit, and then the magician has to cut that suit out of the deck, and it's usually done in order. So it would be like, they would go king, queen, jack, 10, ace. So I'm going to do a suit cut for you guys. But if I do it in order, things could be set up or something like that. So we need to get it into an order that I couldn't possibly know. So I want you to arrange
the one card I'm missing. Okay, I don't have a full suit. Is that okay, or do we need a full suit?
We need a full suit. That's actually why I asked you to place it in ace to king order. So pull a different suit out.
Let me get a different suit.
Yeah, cool.
Because
so while you're doing that, I guess I'll tell my joke.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. You have a joke.
So a lot of people know me for being a magician, and what they don't know is that that's not my real thing that I want to do. What I really want to do is start in our line of artisanal cheeses inspired by the cryptozoological marvels of the world. And so there would be like, so obviously Loch Ness Monster is what would start it off. And then there would be Zombrie because, soft cheeses. and then we would also have Chew Blue Cabra. Would be good. And then there will be Pepper Jackalope, Monterey Jackalope, and Cheddar Jackalope. There's going to be a lot of jackalopes. But the real thing, what I'm going to do is I'm only going to sell it in like Kroger's. I'm not gonna sell it in any of those like high end. Actually, sorry, I take it back. I haven't done this joke in a while. I'm only gonna sell it in like really high end delis, like places that own their own meat slicers, right? But I'm going to tell people that you can get it anywhere. And the reason I'm going to do that is so that when people get onto Reddit, they'll be like, there'll be a person who'll be like, I was at the Kroger on High Street and I saw Swiss Squatch. And then other people will be like, fuck you, Michael. That's just a blurry picture of Cheddar in a gorilla costume.
Wow. So here's what happened while you were telling that joke. I realized that I did a trick with kings last week. And I never put him back in the deck. So this blank card is going to be the king of my suit. Now.
Oh, okay, cool, excellent. So you've got him with the ace at the back and the king on the face, right?
Sorry, no, I did opposite. Let me reverse that.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But you got all 13.
Yes.
Excellent. So I want you to divide it into 2 packets so that divide it in half so that you've got so in your left hand you're looking at the 6 and then the bottom card of the packet in your right hand will be the 7. You got it?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want you to start dealing those one at a time into a pile. So start with the one on the right. So put it down on the table.
Okay.
Yeah. So 1 card, and then now from the left.
Oh, sorry, from the right first.
Yeah, so from the right. So I put the king down first.
Yes.
Now put the 6 down.
Yes.
And then the queen.
Mm-hmm.
And then just keep alternating until you're done.
Okay.
Cool. So we get these mixed.
Yes.
And then what I want you to do is pick them up. And then, so you've got them, and then we'll just mix them further. So like take like a group of cards and then put it on the bottom, and then take another group of cards and put them on the bottom, and take another group of cards and keep doing that until you're happy. And when you're done, stop. Just tell me when to stop.
Okay.
Okay, so you're done?
Yes.
So put them face down on the table. So the idea is I'm going to do a suit cut, but I'm going to do the suit in the order that you have just established. So you've mixed those up and got them into a random order that I couldn't possibly know. So this way, I'm not doing ace to king. It's actually significantly more impressive because I have to locate each card as we go through it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle my deck of cards up, and I'm going to, when you turn over a card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them. I'm going to locate the card in this deck and then cut it out in as impressive and fancy a manner as I possibly can.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Go ahead and turn over the first one and tell me what it is.
That's the king.
Oh, the king. Okay. The king of what?
Diamonds.
King of diamonds. Okay. So as fast and as impressive as I can, I'm going to cut the king of diamonds out of this deck. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. And yep, I think that's it. I'm going to switch to my overhead camera, and aha, there we go. King of diamonds.
Awesome, Eric.
Yeah, I got it.
Sweet.
You don't seem that impressed.
I am. This is not why I brought you on the show.
Okay, fine. I'll do it better. Just turn to the next one. Show everyone what the next one is.
Next one would be the 6 of diamonds.
Okay, here's what we go. And 6 of diamonds.
Wow.
All right, here. We'll do this again. Next one.
Next one. That's the queen.
Queen, if I just like that. Queen of diamonds.
Yes.
All right, here we go. We'll give it like an actual shuffle. And next one. Come on.
That's a 5.
5. 5 of diamonds.
Yes.
All right, let's go. Let's keep going. Come
Jack.
on, next one. Faster.
Jack.
Jack of diamonds. All right, next one. I'll do the 2 at once now. 2 at once. Give me 2 at once.
4 and 10.
4 and 10. That's a 4 and that's a 10.
This is crazy.
Here we go. So we'll do next one.
9.
9 and 9. Sorry.
How about a 3?
I'm sorry. That's a 3, right?
Yeah.
The 3 was next, but you did the 9 first, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, there we go. That's
the 9
into the 3. There we go.
So good.
So that gets that taken care of. Next one.
2.
2. Let's see. Here, how many do we have left?
After 2, there are 3 left.
3 left. Okay. So we'll do the. So I'll do the. Here we'll do. Oh, that's so cool when the cards aren't broken. All right. Here we'll do. What I'm going to do is get a little bit deeper, and I'm going to take. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to be committed already. Go ahead. What's the next one?
8 of diamonds.
8. So now there's 2 left, right?
There are 2 left.
There are 2 left. Okay, so the first one is so the next one will be the target card, and then the one after that is how many cards I have to deal to get to the target card.
Okay. Target card is going to be the Ace of Diamonds.
Ace of Diamonds. Okay,
and you've got to deal 7 cards to get there.
7 cards to get there. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the Ace of Diamonds. But I'm going to be honest with you. I want to show off a little bit. That's why the first one that I dealt was the 7.
Oh, so good. Dude, so good. That is killer. So can I do that if I watch the download that I bought from you?
Yeah, you can do all of it.
You mean I have to watch?
That's actually a new version that I've worked out specifically for virtual shows to do.
It's so good. People on the chat love it. Christopher Morrow says, what? How? Blowing my mind. Erik Dittelman, as usual, has a joke about it. He says the cut of his suits tend to be a little off.
Gross.
Erik Dittelman, I gotta say, Mark DiTullio says, Mark DiTullio says, wow. I gotta say, Erik Dittelman, I was watching Harrison Greenbaum's live stream before this, and he had Gilbert Gottfried on, and Erik pulled some name. Gilbert was like, oh, it was this character voice actor from blah blah blah, and he voiced this thing, and it was this obscure thing that Gilbert couldn't think of, and Eric's like, oh, that was blah blah blah, and then Gilbert said, yeah, good job, Erik, that's what it was. Crazy.
Erik Dittelman is an amazing magician, and I feel like he doesn't get nearly enough credit for how awesome he is because he's so good.
I agree with you. I think Erik is
just kidding. He gets exactly
the best
as much praise as he should.
Erik is the best comedian I know. So this is the Erik Dittelman hour. Erik helps me write this show, and such a good dude.
Can we go back to something real quick?
Yes.
I don't get to show this off very much.
Yes.
But do you see how it looks? My friend Katie coined this phrase. Do you see how it looks like my desk is like if Tron threw a pride parade?
That's a great phrase.
Everything glows, including my mug.
That's nuts. Now, is the mug part of it? Did the mug come with it, or does that work with any mug? Or
no, the mug came with it.
This is awesome.
I just wanted to show off that because I get $1 every time I talk about Razor.
Okay, nice. Well, thanks for showing off your desk rave. That was cool.
Yeah.
And we should call it like Rocco's desk rave or something, and just throw him on there and have him.
Its name is Deskatron.
Deskatron. You could put Rocco in maybe like a feather boa and have him dancing. Dittelman says he's blushing.
That's right. He should be blushing.
Awesome. So we did a trick, we did a joke, and you told a story. And you know what that means, Erik? You have hit the Joke Story Trick Live trifecta.
I did it. Is it trifecta or is it a half game? Yes, Christopher Morrow. I am a gamer. I actually stream my games at Suspicious Wizard Gaming on Facebook. And
tell everyone where and when you stream.
Oh, so I stream a couple times a week. I stream Fortnite, Valorant, and Apex Legends, as well as some other older games. And then every other week, next week is actually the first week we're going to be dark in a while, but I host an event called Drink and Smash. If you have a Nintendo Switch and Smash Brothers Ultimate, I open up an arena and we stream it, and there's a Discord chat so that you can come and chat with everybody, because the Nintendo Switch stuff is hot garbage. The Nintendo Switch chat room is hot garbage. But we have a great time. Jackie Shreves is my color commentator with that. She prevents me from bullying people, but we theme the events. So there's always like sometimes it's like we did Pokemon only, so when people could only come into battle as Pokemon characters. Another time we did OGs, so that you could only play characters from the original Smash. There was a random edition where everyone was on random all the time. The last one we did was Jackie Smash edition. This was something that Jackie brought on herself, where you could only play as a character if you thought Jackie would smash that character. And then if you were wrong twice in a row, we kicked you out of the event.
Wow.
And so Jackie was very specific about that. The next one is going to be called Permadeath, but it happens about every other week. If you go to Suspicious Wizard Gaming on Facebook, it's Suspicious. The middle I is a 1, because apparently the word suspicious contains a racial slur that most game companies will prevent you from having that as a so dumb. It's really weird.
Can we do something about these robot overlords?
Yeah.
Can we do something about them? They've ruined my day, and they don't let you have your name.
Nope.
Oh man. Well, okay. So we're running a little short on time, but I want to get to this last segment, Eric. It's a segment that I call "What the Shit Is This?"
Okay.
So this is a man that you were talking about earlier, Leonard Green, who basically invented the moves that you are making your living on with the magic thing. So this is from a Leonard Green TED Talk, and I want everyone to do this along with Leonard Green and listen to what he's saying.
First, we violate the common sense, the logic. All of you, if you hold your hand like this, 90 degrees.
So you hold your hand like this.
All of you, not you. All of you, right? Palm up. If you do this, the logic say you must turn the wrist. You agree? Good. But I will first teach you a method how you can do it without moving the wrist, and then the shortcut. You can do it immediately, right? Hold the hand like this, palm up. Don't move the wrist. The wrist is, I doesn't speak very many, but I do the best what I are. Right? Molded, you say, with iron? That was a joke, actually. And okay. Hold the hand, palm up. Do this, don't move the wrist. Over the heart, don't move the wrist. Forward, don't move the wrist. Up, don't move the wrist. Over the heart, don't move the wrist. And forward. Yeah. Now.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Logic.
This with a pretty good joke.
Logically, you have got to this position from this without moving the wrist. Now the shortcut. But it was six moves. Now with one move. I start here, palm down, you can follow. And then look at me. Yeah. One move.
He does the
always
cup under.
Good classic. That's very important.
He always does the the cup under the arm at the end.
If you're ever going to do the wrist crack joke, the under the arm thing, like make sure you get a plastic cup, because if you do it with a metal double-walled insulated mug, it hurts a lot and you crack a rib. You still get the same noise, but it's not the cup cracking, it's your rib.
Did you do that?
I don't really want to talk about it.
Oh, I do. Maybe another story. Next time I have you on, we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about. I think there was something else that we needed to discuss. Anyway, why does this work? I don't understand why this works.
I have no idea. I've watched this like numerous times and tried to figure out like. I'm a Leonard Green fanatic. I watch Leonard. I watch just everything he does and puts out, because he's just like this insane Swedish dude, which is awesome. But I don't understand like how this works, because it's like your wrist clearly your wrist has to move.
It has to be moving, but it's broken up into 6 tiny moves that you don't even perceive.
Yeah, and so I feel like what's happening is that it has to happen. Like I don't understand where it happens, because I'm like very cognizant that my wrist isn't moving.
Yeah. Like if your wrist was in a cast, you could still do this, right?
Yeah, which seems strange, right? It shouldn't work, but it does, and it's really interesting. But it just also like I don't know if he came up with this or if he's just fascinated by a concept someone else came from, but it really speaks to like how weird his mind is.
It is.
Like one of my most treasured possessions is a puzzle that he brought when he lectured at Penguin. And I went to that lecture. You actually, you can actually see the very first time that Leonard Green and I meet in his Penguin Live lecture, because he brings me up at the table to teach me the snap deal.
Oh, wow.
Which
How
I
cool is that?
already knew and was
Yeah.
like, I came from, it was amazing. And he gave Nick Lacapo this puzzle. It's like a little wooden puzzle with like it's a cone on it, and you have to like get it out, but you can't pluck it out with your hands, and the solution is to blow on it. And he's just fascinated by those puzzles, and it's really amazing.
That's awesome.
So cool. Yeah, he's just fascinated by all these little puzzle type things.
I love it. Well, I thought that you'd appreciate that, because I know that you're such a Leonard Green fan, and it's something that I think that the viewers will now show their friends, because this I show to people all the time. I have no idea how it works. It's one of those things that it's a really cool physiological puzzle, and that's what the shit is this. So one more time, Erik, tell people where they can find you, and online and game with you and everything else.
So you can find me on basically all of Penguin Magic stuff. I'm the host of the Penguin Magic podcast. If you go to podcast.penguinmagic.com, I interview all of your favorite magicians, and I never ask them how they got into magic or what their favorite trick is. I'm more interested in talking about other stuff. We've got 50 episodes out. This week is going to be really exciting because we have Mario the Maker Magician is the main event.
He's
so
amazing.
I'm really excited about that.
He's
and
amazing.
Also, every Sunday, except for this Sunday, if you go to Penguin Magic's Facebook page, you can see myself and Nick Lacapo live streaming, where we count down the top 20 tricks of the week and talk about them. We actually even take tricks out of boxes and start to play with them so that you can actually see what you're getting ready to buy. And it's a good way and we also take viewer questions. So people have questions about like downloads or books. And we've experienced all of this stuff, so we can tell you about it. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Erik Tait. That's Erik Tait. And Suspicious Wizard Gaming on Facebook, and also twitch.tv/Suspicious Wizard is where I game. And if you follow me on those, I will happily play a game with you. I like shooters, but I'll play anything. I just want to have human connections and contact.
Yes, we all do right now.
That's that.
Appreciate it, man. Well, it's so good to see you, and thanks for spending some time with us tonight and sharing your stories and your magic. And hope to see you in person sometime soon, man.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same, but definitely really glad to be on the show. No, I can't wait to see you in person too and touch your beautiful face with my tongue.
Okay. Erik Tait, everyone, thanks for coming on the show, Erik. Let's move on. So everyone, this has been a lot of fun. And one more time, what I want to talk about is YouTube for a second before we go. So YouTube is probably it's somewhere between a third and a half of all the people that watch this show, and it's gone now. And we don't know why. It was suspended this morning for some reason, and it was flagged as spam, they're showing. So we really don't know why. It's probably an artificial intelligence error. So we really don't know exactly what the deal is. So we're still doing Facebook, we're still doing Twitch, and starting back next week, we're going to do YouTube at a new location, new channel, and I've been setting that up all day. Hopefully we'll get the original one back with the 4,000 subscribers and the 14 years of history and everything that's on there, but whatever, you don't know. Our robot overlords control us. In the meantime, something that you can do if you would like is subscribe to my Patreon. So I do this show for free. If you are in a financial position to be able to support the show, you can join for as little as $1 a month, and that's $12 a year if you're good at math. And what that gives you is access to behind the scenes footage. You get to see any content that I put out before anyone else gets to see it. If you join at some of the upper levels, you actually get stuff mailed to you, like Michael Kent swag stuff, and you get access to the pre-show party every week, which means we start 40 minutes before the show starts, just hanging out, talking with our guest, doing all kinds of fun stuff and listening to music, and you get to access all that on Patreon. Thank you everyone who has followed and liked tonight. We appreciate all of you. It is time, friends, to get into the last bit of the show. It's time for a trick. Thanks for watching the show tonight, everyone. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
He didn't mute me. I'm still
Hey
here.
friends, over the years I've had hundreds of unofficial supporters. Now you can make it official. Join my Patreon, 4 different levels, tons of exclusive benefits, access, behind the scenes, backstage video, access to shows that you normally wouldn't get to see, producer support, credits, shout outs, VIP events, everything you can think of. And you can join for as little as $1 a month. So thank you in advance for your support. I love all of you.